if you look at Guyana and the development there, I think it will go down as one of the best deep water developments in the history of the industry. So a lot of value that's been created through the hard work of the partners, but specifically with our engineering organization, our projects organization. So understand why Chevron's interested in participating in such an attractive development. The partnership that exists today is run or defined by a joint operating agreement. That agreement gives existing partners rights when there are changes in controls. The Chevron Hess transaction ignored those rights. We're standing up for the rights to make sure that we protect the value that we've created there, to make sure we understand what the Guyana assets, the value of those assets are in the Chevron Hess transaction, and make sure that we have a line of sight to how best to optimize value for our shareholders.
I'm sure you understand Chevron's position. I'm sure they've explained it to you. They are saying that there's a Hess subsidiary that won't change, and they think that that is enough to satisfy what they're calling a contract language dispute. That they think is something that's routinely put in and usually is not taken up by the other partners. How is this different, and how do you think it'll play out?
Well, I am familiar with their argument and their interpretation. We wrote the JOA, so we have a pretty clear line of sight as to the intent and the circumstances that apply and the language that applies to these circumstances. So we feel pretty confident in our interpretation. And frankly, that's the point of the arbitration. The JOA allows for that. It's understandable that partners from time to time can have a different interpretation of that. We'll take it through the arbitration process and we'll let the facts speak for themselves.
Would you put in a bid yourself if arbitration allowed you to do that? You guys are still caught up with Pioneer Natural Resources trying to digest that major acquisition. Would you have the money to go ahead and try and put a bid in for these assets as well?
I've made it clear in the past that this is not a play for Hess. We're not interested in a transaction on Hess. This is really around protecting the value that we've created as part of that development, making sure that the preemption rights that we believe exist in the JOA are recognized and confirmed, and then understand what the value they're putting on that asset is, and then what the options are to maximize the value to their shareholders.